Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. So yesterday we have discussed two layers in OSI model. First one physical layer and second one is data link layer. So today we are going to learn about the third layer, that is network layer. So the network layer is responsible for the source to destination delivery of a packet across multiple networks. The network layers ensure that each packet gets from its point of origin to its final destination. If two systems are connected to the same link, there is usually no need for a network layer. So if the two systems are attached to different networks or links with the connection devices between the networks, there is often need for the network layer to accomplish source to destination delivery. So when the destination and source are connected to the same link, it's a point-to-point connection. There is no need of a network layer. If these systems are connected in different links, so network layers are necessary. So the figure shows the relationship between the network layer, the transport layer, and the upper layer is transport layer and the lower layer is network layer. So the network layer and the relationship between network layer and transport layer is shown in the figure. So in between the upper layer transport layer and down layer data link layer, there are H3 header and a tailer for the data packets, and it's same as in the sender and receiver. So this is all about the relationship between the data link layer and transport layer. So going to the next slide, the responsibility of the network layer include the following. First one is logical addressing. So the logical addressing is physical addressing is implemented by the data link layer, handles the addressing problem locally. So we already discussed that the physical addressing is implemented in data link layer. So if a packet passes the network boundary, we need another addressing system to help distinguish the source and destination systems. So the network layer adds a header to the packet coming from the upper layer that, among other things, includes the logical address of the sender and receiver. So when the packets are arriving from upper layer, it includes the header and other logical addresses from the sender and receiver. So that's all about the logical addressing. And the second one is routing. Routing we already discussed in previous topic, that there is a router and A to F communication happening, and the information regarding the destination address is given to the in between sources, in between routers B and E. So going to that, the second one is routing. So routing is another function of network layer. So when independent network or links are connected to create networks of networks, or a large network, and connecting devices called a router or switches. So networks are connected by using a router or switches, route or switch packet to their final destination. One of the functions of the network layer is to provide this mechanism. So one of the best function of the network layer is to provide routing action. So that's all about the routing action. So from the figure, as the figure shows, now we need a source to destination delivery. The network layer at A, the packet to the network layer at B. When the packet arrives at B, at the router B, the router makes the decision based on the final destination F of the packet. The router B uses its routing table to find the next hop is router E. So the router B finds that the next node is E. So from A to F, there is a immediate node that B and E. So B found that its destination is going to E. So its next hop is found by the router B, that is B, and going to, so the network layer B therefore sends the packet to the network layer at E. Then the network layer at E sends the packet to the network layer at F. So this the transmission occur in the network layer. So the network layer is provided for happening. The routing action is happening because of the network layer. So that's all about the functionalities of network layer. So the fourth layer of the OSI model is transport layer. So transport layer is responsible for process to process delivery. So we have already discussed that physical layer is responsible for bit to bit delivery, and here transport layer is responsible for process to process delivery of the entire message. A process is an application program running on a host, whereas a network layer oversees the source to destination delivery of individual packet. It does not recognize the relationship between those packets. It treats each one independently as though each piece belongs to a separate message, whether or not it does. So the transport layer, on the other hand, ensures the whole message arrives intact in order, overseeing both error control and flow control at the source to destination level. So we can see in this figure the relation between the upper layer, section layer, and the to the network layer. So in the receiver and sender side, it's happening. There is a header and tailor, and in the receiver side, the header and tailor is removed, and data is sent. So it's happening. The process to process delivery is happening in transport layer. So the the responsibility of the transport layer include service point addressing, segmentation and reassembly, connection control, flow control, and error control. The first one is service point addressing. The computer often run several programs at the same time. For this reason, source to destination delivery means delivery not only from the computer to the next, but also from the specific process or running program on a computer to a specific process or running program on the other. So the transport layer header must be therefore include a type of address called a service point address. So here it is adding a service point address as the header. So header is a service point address, and the network layer gets each packet to the correct computer. The transport layer gets the entire message the correct process on that computer. So service point addressing means that a service point address is given as the header of the header with the data. So that's all about the service point address, the first functionalities of or responsibility of transport layer. The second one is segmentation and reassembly. So a message is divided into transmittable segments with each segment containing a sequence of numbers. So these numbers enables the transport layer to reassemble the message correctly upon arriving at the destination and to identify the replaced packets that were lost on the transmission. So when we are transmitting a message, the message is divided into segments, and these segments are reassembled at the receiving side and identify if there is any lost package or etc. So that's all about segmentation and reassembly. And the third one is connection control. The connection control means at transport layer can be either connectionless or connection oriented. So we will discuss this in later chapters. So the connectionless and connection oriented, the transport layer can be either connectionless or connection oriented. A connectionless transport layer treats each segment as an independent packet and deliver it to the transport layer at the destination machine. So that's all about the connectionless transport layer. If a connection oriented transport layer makes a connection with the transport layer at the destination machine first before delivering the packets. So it makes a connection between the destination machine before delivering the packets. After all the data are transferred, their connection is terminated. So that's happening in the connection oriented transport layer. So that's all about the connection control, connectionless and connection oriented transport layer. The fourth one is flow control. Flow control means, like the data link layer, the transport layer is responsible for flow control. However, the flow control at the layer is performed end to end rather than across a destination machine, rather than across a single link. So in data link layer, it is happening in a flow control is checking in the end to end mode, and in here it's across a single link. So that's all about the flow control. And the last one is error control. It's also happening like the data link layer. The transport layer is also responsible for error control. However, error control at the layer is performed process to process rather than across a single layer. So in here it is happening in process to process error control checking, and rather than a single link. And the sending transport layer makes sure that the entire message arrived at the receiving transport layer without error or damage or loss or duplication. Error correction is usually achieved through retransmission. If there is a error in that message we are receiving, so that happening a retransmission is occurring there. So that's all about the connections or responsibilities of the transport layer includes these 5 points are included, and that's all about the responsibility of the transport layer. So the figure shows the transport layer host to host delivery and transport layer process to process delivery and internet. How these processes are occurring in here are described in this figure. So that's all about today's class. We will discuss the remaining layers in the next class. So thank you for watching my video. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel, like, share and comment. See you in the next class.